A very good evening to you and a warm welcome to the news live on Channel I. I'm Sharifa Tahir.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Javed Bongzo and we begin with the headlines of tonight's news.
The President reiterates that he will never hesitate to make changes in all fields, including health, despite any obstacles and challenges. The President calls on University Student Council members not to disrupt their education till the settling of problems, if there are any. Australia's Victoria State Trade Minister claims that a conducive environment is prevailing in Sri Lanka to overcome economic challenges. Delimitation Appeal Committee report is to be gazetted tomorrow. All arrangements have been made to stage Sara Sande musical extravaganza in connection with Rupawahini's 35th anniversary. Idappa K. Palaniswamy has been sworn in as the new Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu.
We continue with the main local stories now. President Maithripala Sirisena reiterates that he will never hesitate to make necessary changes in all fields, including health, despite any obstacles and challenges. He points out that people should clearly understand about the existed and existing methodology in the country. The President was speaking at a ceremony organised in connection with the vesting of new clinical building at Warakapula Base Hospital today. The fully fledged 6-storied hospital building with all facilities has 317 beds, 3 operation theatres, children's ward, emergency treatment unit, intensive care unit, X-ray unit and fully fledged residential facilities. A sum of over 1,100 million rupees was spent to build the hospital building with financial provisions provided by the Japanese government and Sabaragamu Provincial Council. After declaring open the hospital building, the President paid an inspection visit to the operating theatre, intensive care unit and the premature babies unit. Addressing the ceremony, the President said that everyone is respecting the country for the strength and quality of free health service and free education. Several statements were made on change. He recalled a story untold since his assumption to presidency. Briefing the story, he said, the people of this country have appointed him as the President of Sri Lanka within 42 days after he left the government, stepping down from the post of Minister in November 2014. He said he was sworn in as the President on the 9th of January 2015. After 24 hours, the person who was holding the topmost position in the Supreme Court arrived unexpectedly. He said that he took his oath as the President, not in front of that person. At around 9:30 to 10 p.m., he visited the swearing-in ceremony. The President said he thought that person had visited there to congratulate him, but he told him, "Sir, I came to know about my removal from the post of Chief Justice, but I am willing to work under any president," he said. The President noted that after hearing his words, he thought as to how this person is going to face the society after making such a statement. This person came to meet him the next day as well and told him the same thing. Therefore, the President said he thought that keeping him in the topmost position in the judiciary could be a threat to the independence of the judiciary. Then he decided to remove him from his high post. That was the first time that he used executive powers of the President. Therefore, it is essential to understand clearly on the changes of existed system and the existing system. The President said he is going to make changes needed for the country despite any obstacles.
මෙතන සිටීම මේ රටේ අධිකරණයේ ස්වාධීනත්වයට බරපතල ප්‍රශ්නයක් කියලා. ඒ නිසා මම තීන්දුව කළා ඔහුව ඉවත් කරන්න. මම විධායක ජනාධිපතිවරයා විදිහට බලතල පාවිච්චි කරපු පළවෙනි අවස්ථාව තමයි මේ අවස්ථාව. ඇතැම් අය කතා කරනවා ආණ්ඩුවක් විදිහට මොනවද කරලා තියෙන්නේ මොනවද කළේ කියලා හිතන. නමුත් මේ රටේ තිබුණු ක්‍රමයේ සහ තිබෙන ක්‍රමයේ වෙනස්කම් බොහෝ පැහැදිලි ලෙස අපි කවුරුත් තේරුම් ගැනීම අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා රටට අවශ්‍ය ඒ වෙනස්කම් කුමන බාධාවන් සහ අභියෝගාවත් අපි ඉෂ්ට කරනවා.
A commemorative album and a memento were presented to the President. All religious leaders, Health Minister Dr. Rajitha Senaratne, Sabaragamu Province Chief Minister Palitha Mahipala, several people's representatives and officials in the health field were present.
President Maithripala Sirisena has requested university student councils not to disrupt their education till the settling of problems, if there are any. The President made this appeal at a discussion on CITEM with university student councils today. The meeting between the President and the representatives of university student councils took place at the Presidential Secretariat in Colombo. President Maithripala Sirisena told the participants at the discussion that discussions are underway between the government and relevant parties to find a reasonable solution to the private medical institute issue. Representatives of student councils noted that the then government has failed to focus attention on protests of students against private medical institutes during the previous regime. Making lengthy submissions, they noted that the present government will provide a reasonable solution to this problem as it is committed to strengthen free education. The President also held discussions with Government Medical Officers Association and Government Dentists Association and obtained their views. Following the meeting, convener of Inter-University Student Federation Lahiru Weerasekara told media, 2 proposals were made to the President in this regard. Malbe Private Medical Institution should be abolished. Students of this institute should be paid compensation. Otherwise, it should be fully taken over by the government. These students at CITEM should be given an opportunity to face the final examination after checking their qualifications. A board of inspection should be involved in the checking of their suitability with transparency and provide recommendations as to how these students are going to complete their further education in medicine.
Small Enterprises, Innovations and Trade Minister of the Australian state of Victoria, Philip Delidekis, says a conducive environment to overcome economic challenges easily has now been created in Sri Lanka. He points out that this was possible due to measures taken by the President and the Prime Minister to restore coexistence and reconciliation. The Victoria State Minister made these observations at a special luncheon meeting hosted in honour of visiting Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. A group of entrepreneurs in the Australian state of Victoria who plans to make investments and join in businesses in Sri Lanka attended the meeting. Sri Lankan Premier solicited the support of business leaders in the state of Victoria to make Sri Lanka as an economic hub in South Asia. Victoria State Minister of Trade has promised to motivate Australian investors to make investments in the island nation. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe expressed hope that Australia will provide opportunities for Sri Lankan students to study in that country, similar to the countries like United Kingdom and the United States, which have widened immigration and emigration laws to allow Sri Lankan children to study in those countries. Minister Philip Delidekis has pledged to provide maximum support for the promotion of education field in Sri Lanka. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has held talks of mutual interest with the Prime Minister of Victoria's State, Daniel Andrews, in Melbourne. Their discussions were centred on obtaining specialist knowledge relating to education, higher education and information technology fields. The State Prime Minister disclosed he will make a tour of Sri Lanka in the near future with the aim of identifying joint ventures, projects and enterprises.
Meanwhile, hundreds of Tamil and Sinhala diaspora members staged a protest demonstration in Melbourne yesterday demanding the cancellation of honorary doctorate conferred on Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe by a leading university in Australia. Tamil and Sinhala diaspora members participated in the protest demonstration, displaying tiger and lion flags while chanting slogans against Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, who arrived at the Deakin University in Melbourne yesterday. The Sri Lankan Premier was to deliver the annual lecture in 2017 organised by the Law School of the University. This ceremony was successfully concluded with the participation of 700 scholars amidst protest demonstrations.
Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake vows to take legal action against parliamentarian Udaya Gammampila for making false allegations against him based on a vehicle assembly plant. He was speaking at a media conference in Colombo today. Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake said that parliamentarian Udaya Gammampila has made an accusation without knowing anything about a cabinet memorandum. He made a statement at a media conference claiming that he will lodge a complaint at the Bribery or Corruption Investigation Commission. He is visiting the commission as he has nothing to do, the Finance Minister said. Cabinet memorandums were issued by him and Ministers Nimal Siripala de Silva, Vijayadasa Rajapaksa and 2 other cabinet ministers. Such persons like Gammampila were trying to make complaints against against him to the bribery commissions. He said that he will file a defamation case against MP Udaya Gamampala for making false accusations against him.
Delimitation Appeal Committee report is to be gazetted tomorrow. This was disclosed by provincial councils and local government minister Faisal Mustafa at a media conference at SLFP headquarters in Colombo today. Mr. Faisal Mustafa noted that a decision has been taken to issue the Gazette notification tomorrow on the Delimitation Appeal Committee report relating to the upcoming local government election. This matter will be concluded tomorrow. A large number of people have accused him for the delay in issuing this Gazette notification. He noted that he is suffering for the sins committed by former Minister Basil Rajapaksa. All activities relating to the Delimitation Committee report have been completed today.
නින්දිත වැඩ කරන්න ලෑස්ති නෑ මම රට වෙනුවෙන් වගකීමක් බාරගත්තා මගේ මිත්‍රයාත් මට දොස් කිව්වා එතුමා විතරක් නෙවෙයි රටේ විශාල වශයෙන් මේ පරක්කු ගැන මට ඇඟිල්ල දික් කරා මට ඒ ගැන කනගාටුයි බැසිල් රාජපක්ෂගේ පෙරපව් වලට තමයි මම දුක් විඳින්නේ මම ඕන තැනක ඒ ප්‍රකාශය කරනවා හැබැයි අද සියලු කටයුතු අවසන් අපි ගැසට් කරන්න ලෑස්ති
Meanwhile, State Minister Dylan Pereira disclosed that the SLFP plans to contest the upcoming local government election, joining hands with all of its frontline and grassroots members. State Minister Dylan Pereira said that the Sri Lanka Freedom Party is contesting the local government election as one team. A minor group will not be able to grab the power of the party. People in the whole country are making a strong demand from the SFP to contest as one party without any divisions. We cannot shed their demand. He said that his previous predictions became true and we are to work by uniting a massive alliance in the upcoming local government elections.
Stern legal action is to be taken against school children who will involve in clashes during inter-school cricket encounters in the upcoming cricket season. Pledging to implement the rule of law sternly against such unruly students, DIG Priyantha Jayakodi told a media conference in Colombo today that students will not be allowed to harass people taking advantage of school big matches. DIG Priyantha Jayakodi said parents of students are to be informed that they should be cautious about their children during school big match season. This appeal will be made from parents via local media. DIG Jayakodi noted a few students of these leading schools were involved in the clash. Such a minor group of students cannot be allowed to tarnish the good image of the whole school. They cannot be allowed to misbehave and carry out antisocial activities. Such students should not be allowed to violate the rule of law in the country. Therefore, he said he would like to inform with responsibility and keenness that they will never hesitate to take legal action against unruly students if such incidents reoccur in the future. Meanwhile, Colombo Chief Magistrate and Maligakanda Magistrate granted bail today to 15 students who were taken into custody in connection with a clash between students of several leading Colombo schools. The two magistrates sternly advised students, stating that damaging public property was a serious offence.
Chinese ambassador in Sri Lanka, Yi Liang, says Sri Lanka is a more favorable place for investments. Addressing a ceremony in Colombo, he pointed out that China is highly honouring the decisions taken by the Sri Lankan government. The 13th annual Sujata Jayawardene Memorial Oration was delivered by the Chinese ambassador in Sri Lanka at the BMICH yesterday. It was organised by the Colombo University Alumni Association. Vice-Chancellor of the University, Professor Lakshman Disanayake, Dean of the Postgraduate Faculty, Professor Nayani Melagoda, and several scholars were present. Chinese ambassador in Sri Lanka delivered the memorial oration on China-Sri Lanka relations under One Belt, One Road initiation.
A senior diplomat, Ambassador Yi Xiangling, participates in multilateral and bilateral meetings and negotiations involving affairs of ocean, fishery, polar region, climate change, tobacco control, environment and sustainable development. His Excellency is also an expert on international law and has published academic work and textbooks on environmental law and other subjects.
We have so long friendship. China and Sri Lanka have no any disputes or difference generally. Celebration, of course, for the past we achieved. But most important is prepare for the future, for our tomorrow. China is already the #1 financial support to Sri Lanka. Totally, it's almost $10 billion. Because Sri Lanka is still #1, of course in the region. We are not in any position to use Sri Lanka to target any other country. We fully respect the government decision and the consensus of the people, Sri Lankan people. We have no any intention to intervene the internal differences between politicians or between political groups. I must say all leaders, former leaders, current leaders, future leaders are my friends. We are quite close. So I do believe these big projects will be most important for Sri Lanka in the future under the initiative of the secular. I promote them come to Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is a good place to invest. Good people, great history, great culture, particularly the great friendship between our two countries. I'm confident the cooperation between China and Sri Lanka under the initiative will be successful in the near future.
We now move on to our segment, Asia in a Minute.
A second woman has been arrested in the connection with the death of Kim Jong-nam, the brother of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Tens of millions of Indonesians cast their votes today in Jakarta for the new governor.
Insulting the Quran, angering many voters.
India is in talks to sell short-range surface-to-air missiles to Vietnam, says the head of India's Defence Research Agency. It is the first transfer of such weapons to a Southeast Asian country. Marines from Thailand, United States and South Korea join in the amphibious assault demonstration during the 36th Cobra Gold exercises in a Thai naval base. Remnants of a town hall in northeastern Japan that was hit by the 2011 earthquake and tsunami are open to reporters.
Attorney at Law Tusira Melawe Thantri assumed duties as the new Director General of Sri Lanka Rupawani Corporation today. He was warmly welcomed by the staff of SLRC, including senior officials at the Rupawani Corporation premises this morning. Tusira Melawe Thantri is an old royalist who received his law degree from Colombo Open University. He is a specialist in criminal and family law. He has appeared for several corruption and fraud cases following the election of the present government into power. Assuming duties as the new Director General of SLRC, he revealed that a special program will be implemented along with senior officials for the future benefit of Rupawani Corporation. Parliamentary Reforms and Mass Media Ministry Secretary Attorney at Law Nimal Bopage, IGP Pujit Jasundra, Chairman of SLRC Attorney at Law Ravi Jayawardena and staff of the corporation were among the large gathering attended the ceremony organised in connection with the new DG's assumption of office. New DG of Sri Lanka Rupawani Corporation Attorney at Law Tusira Melawe Thantri said that Rupawani is the #1 among national channels. It has a definite target. This target is to make Sri Lanka Rupawani Corporation as a leading television channel equaling or surpassing world-renowned television services according due status to the leadership of Rupawani Corporation Chairman. A large number of eminent personalities, including ambassadors of foreign countries, have informed that they are ready to provide their consultancy and technology for the upliftment of Sri Lanka Rupawani Corporation. He noted that he is planning to work for the corporation with all those social experiences. He said that it is not a challenge for him to carry out his duties as the Director General of the corporation for the benefit of the society.
Kohamba Kankaria traditional ritual organised in connection with the 35th anniversary of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation commenced at the corporation premises today at 9 p.m.
Lecturer at the Gakushin University of Japan, Dr. Satoru Nagawa, says Maritime Security Corporation should be accorded priority in Japan-Sri Lanka-India cooperation. Dr. Nagawa was delivering a lecture on changing US-China power balance and the role of Japan-Sri Lanka-India cooperation. The first lecture was hosted by the Institute of National Security Studies, Sri Lanka at Suhurupaya in Bathramulla. Dr. Nagawa further noted that Sri Lanka is a true friend of Japan.
Japan has been the stable supporter of the Sri Lanka development for a long time. Japan now regards Sri Lanka as a partner in maritime security. Two strategies might be effective. First, maintaining the military balance is the topmost priority to deter any worst-case scenario. Secondly, great powers around China, including Japan, should demonstrate to China that responsible behavior will have mutual beneficial outcome for all concerned, and that the outcome are better than those that can be obtained from forceful attitude. To maintain its independence, Sri Lanka has great motivation to cooperate with other countries. Consequently, Japan has an important role. Japan has also been a stable supporter of Sri Lanka for years. Furthermore, Japan has a strong will to support India's rise. If Japan and India mutually collaborated, then the two countries can support Sri Lanka more effectively. For example, if Japan and India collaborate to establish maritime communication network system in Sri Lanka that would serve the entire Indian Ocean, it would be easy for the three countries to be aware of what occurs in the Indian Ocean.
The President of the Constitutional Council of France and former Prime Minister Laurent Fabius stated that he believed that the European Parliament would vote in favour of granting Sri Lanka GSP Plus facility when it convenes in May this year. He made this observation when he made a lecture on Europe and the international order post-Brexit in Colombo yesterday.
The Western Province Secretary for Foreign Affairs. Delighted I am to be here to speak to you in Colombo. And I would like to thank particularly my friend, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, for his invitation. And
the International Conference on Climate Change 2017 was held in Colombo with the intention of exchanging ideas, discovering new opportunities, reacquainting with colleagues and broadening their knowledge. This conference was held for the first time in Sri Lanka with the participation of over 100 local and foreign participants. The theme of the conference was Climate Change, Facing the Challenge Beyond COP21. It was jointly organized by the International Institute of Knowledge Management and Sri Lanka Technologies. It was hosted by Colombo University. The conference also had a special workshop on the role of industry in climate change mitigation as a separate segment, and more than 150 participants took part in this event as well.
In December 2015 and this 2030 development.
Several special programs are being conducted in connection with the 35th anniversary of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. Sara Sunday Musical Extravaganza will be a significant event in the program lineup. The musical show will be held at Nelumpokuna Theatre in Colombo tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. The Sara Sunday show includes musical creations of veteran musicians, the late Sarat Dasanaika, who gifted several heart-throbbing songs to local cinema music field. Veteran musicians and vocalists will participate in the musical extravaganza, which will recreate popular cinema and radio songs. The music will be handled by veteran musician Suresh Maliadda. Only a limited number of tickets are available at present, and it could be purchased by logging on to tickets.lk website and from Rupavahini Ru Entertainment.
And in your stock update for today, the all shares price index closed at 6,173.72 points, dropped by 1.78 points, and the S&P SL20 index closed at 3,547.86 points, increased by 1.95 points at the end of trading in the Colombo Stock Exchange today. Turnover was over 600 million rupees. And that's it for local news. Foreign news is coming up next. And in foreign news, Minister Tamil Nadu Governor C. Vidyasagar Rao on Thursday appointed Idapadi K. Palaniswamy as Chief Minister. The governor invited him to form the ministry at the earliest. The governor requested the chief minister designate to seek the vote confidence of the assembly within 15 days. His appointment is an acceptance of the letter submitted by Palaniswamy on Tuesday that he was elected as the leader of the AIADMK Legislative Party at a meeting of the party MLAs held on that day. Rao conveyed his decision to Palaniswamy when the latter visited Raj Bhavan at 11:30 a.m. along with party presidium chairman K.A. Sangotayan and senior ministers Dindigu C. Palaniswamy. The strongman of Salem district was chosen as the legislative party leader on Tuesday, hours after Supreme Court upheld the Bangalore Special Court verdict. And in sports news, Sri Lanka skipper Upul Taranga says his team is well prepared with a high morale to give a tough fight to Australia in their first T20 match to be played at Melbourne Stadium tomorrow. The touring Sri Lanka will play 3 T20 matches against Australia. Upul Taranga is leading Sri Lanka as the permanent skipper. Angelo Matthews is suffering from an injury. Pace bowler Lasith Malinga has been included in the team, strengthening the bowling department. Dilshan Monavira and Chamara Kapugedera will strengthen the batting lineup, while Dasun Shanak and Milinda Sirivardhana were included as all-rounders. Sri Lanka beat Australia Prime Minister's 11 in their warm-up match by 5 wickets yesterday. Sri Lanka skipper Upul Taranga said that 6 batsmen and 3 all-rounders are expected to play in tomorrow's match. Sri Lanka's ace pace bowler Lasith Malinga's inclusion in the team will be a great strength. Sri Lanka players are in high morale after winning the warm-up match, he said.
And on weather, the Met Department says that fairly strong gusty winds are expected over the country and surrounding sea areas. The showery conditions is expected to reduce again by today and likely to enhance during the 19th and the 20th of February. Several spells of light showers will occur in the eastern and Uva provinces and in the Hambantota district. Showers or thunder showers are likely at a few places in the Sabaragamu province after 2 p.m. There may be temporary localized strong winds during thunder showers, and the general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by lightning.
And that's it for tonight's news. Do watch us tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.
Good night.